Okay, so Pokemon to me, growing up, really was just the TV show at first. I didn't even know anything about the video games until later on, but it was a lot of fun just watching the show. I really just enjoyed seeing all these cool little guys running around, just kind of like blowing things up, lighting things on fire, and just fighting everyone all the time. It was just a really fun thing.
Pokemon to me, I never really grew up with it up until the third generation of games, because growing up I was always a little bit into more like PlayStation games because of my older brother. But then my second cousin had the Game Boy Advance and he had Pokemon Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald. And I was like, what is this magical game? So he let me play it for some time. I actually liked it. I never played through the full game. It wasn't until my mom bought me the Nintendo DS where I first had my full playthrough of Pokemon Diamond, and I just found the best enjoyment through it because of all the wonderful Pokemon, the story, landscape, etc.
Pokemon in my childhood was a way for me to just kind of get away and just relax when we were in the car traveling or whatnot. Just kind of as a way to just like take my mind off things. I would just kind of pull out my Game Boy and think I was like all cool because I could go on and do whatever I wanted.
Pokemon to me, in the beginning, it pretty much was the game. I got it as a Christmas gift with a Game Boy Color. I didn't know much about it, so I started playing the game, and I was hooked from the beginning, playing Pokemon Red version as my first Pokemon game. I started to watch the show a little bit after, started to get into it. I'm not really a big fan of the show because of inconsistencies and plot holes that pretty much give me headaches. Other than that, to me as a childhood, it's a good memory. It's one of the first handheld games I've ever played in my life.
My first Pokemon game was actually Silver on the Game Boy Color, and I think it was my dad's Game Boy Color, and I don't even remember how I got the game, but it was one of the first video games I ever played, and I never actually beat it because it was just so hard for such a little kid. But I just loved playing the beginning of the game over and over and over again. And really, like, I knew the beginning of that game like the back of my hand.
Honestly, Pokemon was a big part of my childhood. You know, growing up, we would go on these long car rides, and so I would be playing with my Game Boy Color in the back seat. You know, if it was nighttime, you couldn't see anything, so you had to wait for the street lights going over to, you know, move and battle. But overall, I had a lot of fun with it in my childhood.
My favorite Pokemon game would have to be Pokemon Diamond.
My favorite game from Pokemon would actually have to be Pokemon Black version, or Pokemon Black and White, because I played both of those.
I think my favorite generation, as far as all the different Pokemon generations, is probably Generation 4, because for whatever reason, I just really fell in love with Chimchar.
My favorite game would probably be Sapphire, because it was the first one that I got while I actually was old enough to understand how to play the game.
My favorite Pokemon game would probably be Pokemon Emerald because it was sort of like the evolved status of the first one I ever played, which for me was Ruby. So to me, Emerald was kind of an incorporation of everything that had and then some more.
Overall, my favorite Pokemon game has to be Crystal. It was the first one that I really got into and, you know, started playing somewhat competitively against my friends.
My favorite Pokemon actually is Latios, the legendary Pokemon, only because of the Pokemon, I believe the third Pokemon movie.
My favorite Pokemon has to be Totodile. It's the first starter I had in Silver, and it was just such a fun Pokemon, and it turns into a giant alligator. Like, what wasn't to love?
Favorite Pokemon, I'm going to say Garchomp. It wasn't until Pokemon X and Y where I was able to breed it into a shiny pink Garchomp and just became a team sweeper in a competitive scene.
Unofficially, my first version was Pokemon Diamond and Pearl, which was Gen 4, so I just love Chimchar as my favorite Pokemon.
I would have to say that my favorite Pokemon would be Aggron, because it's a giant, like, mass of steel and rock, and it was just awesome, and it just punched things really hard.
We all know that Delibird is objectively the best Pokemon. It's not much use competitively, but you know, just the design and the character is a lot better than any of the other Pokemon, and it has good presence.